Alright, hello and welcome to my video that'll show how to use a GameCube controller with the new LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga LEGO game. This is on PC, of course, and to start off the video, I'll just show that it is possible. Here's me using the mouse. Okay, move around with the keyboard, and then now with the GameCube controller. Let's do a little jumping. It's really hard to do this backwards. Aiming, shooting, that kind of thing. Open up things and menus. So it's definitely possible. And I'll do this in one take because it's super simple to set up. It's only installing one program and a couple other things. So let's get right to that. Just minimize this, get out of this. The solution is a program called Delfinovin. Delfinovin? Anyways, it's Delfinovin. And this is a very simple program that convinces or translates the GameCube input into X input, which most games support if they say they support a controller. And that's really what's going on here. All you'll need is a GameCube controller, obviously a computer, and one of these really cheap GameCube to PC adapters. All of these come with a switch to go to PC or like Wii U or Nintendo Switch mode, and you plug that into your computer, you plug the GameCube into the GameCube controller into the adapter, and you're good to go almost until you install this program. And I'll run through it really quickly because it is so easy. Step one is installing this supporting driver package called VIGEM bus that'll just allows for X input stuff. You go ahead and open this from the Delfinovin GitHub README page and click the link, download, run, install. Super easy. The next step is Zadig, which is a little bit more complicated, but not really. It did get me once because I had my controller, my physical controller adapter, the Mayflash controller adapter, set to PC mode, which is what I normally use it on. But for these instructions, it must be set to Wii U mode. Now you'll install Zadig, and then the instructions in Delfinovin explain exactly what to do to replace the Wii U driver stored on that device with a different one. So we'll search into Zadig, open it up. Options, list all devices, find your WUP-028, which this is all explained in the downloads and usage guide of Delfinovin on the GitHub. If this doesn't show up, it's because you may have it set to PC mode, so just flip the switch on your adapter, the physical adapter, to Wii U mode. Then you'll be reinstalling the driver with exactly what it tells you on the README instructions. You can save it off if you like, because installing and tampering with drivers can be hazardous, but I never used the Wii U, so it's not necessary. Reinstall the driver, and then at this point I probably would suggest restarting your computer at least once you have also installed Delfinovin, which is from the releases page, which you can access here. You'll just find the latest asset, delfinovin.zip, download that, unzip it, install it. Very easy. Maybe a restart after that just to make sure you're all good to go. Then you'll launch Delfinovin, and it will come up looking like this. There are some status messages in the bottom right that'll say, hey, I detect a GameCube adapter, and I detect this other dependency for this program. We can close this. And finally, you'll have a little picture of your GameCube controller, and the final test is pressing a couple buttons, moving the stick on your GameCube controller. There's a handy little graphic that'll show you exactly what buttons are being pressed. Now, there's a couple settings I'll go over. It's not too complicated. You should be able to figure this out on your own. However, every time I launch this, swap AB and swap XY are activated. I prefer the GameCube controller to be in its natural, unaltered state, so I turn these off each time I launch this program. So that means A will be A and not switched to a different button, and that will be reflected in-game, not in this program. Next, calibrating the controller. Click edit, move the sticks around. I believe this affects the dead zones. Click edit again and finish calibrating. Then go in and check your trigger dead zones and maybe reduce and increase them just a little bit, because all controllers are garbage with dead zones. You gotta want to have full range of this. And finally, you just leave that running. Go back into any game that supports controllers, or specifically X input devices like an Xbox controller or whatever, and you'll be able to run around using the GameCube controller. There are some drawbacks with the GameCube controller, notably the lack of a select button, the lack of a left bumper, the lack of left and right stick click, and it's not super precise of an input device. However, it's great.
We're being
And
boarded.
this is how you're meant to play LEGO games, I believe, with a Nintendo controller for maximum nostalgia. Finally, I'd like to show you one other way you can modify inputs, and that's with this other program called Anti-Micro-X. This is a similar program to Xpatter and Joy2Key, which you may have used for Guitar Hero or another game. And it doesn't have to be for controllers, and what this does is it takes any input device and you can remap it to a keyboard. So where Delfinovin was convincing or translating GameCube input to X input, Anti-Micro-X is translating any input into keyboard input. So I'll launch that program and show you exactly the possibilities here, and that it also detects my GameCube controller as an Xbox 360 controller or an X input device. And from here, I can actually translate it a second time into keyboard inputs. So if I wanted to map somehow to get a select key or a sprint button, I could do that in Anti-Micro-X. In combination with Delfinovin, the possibilities are truly endless, and this is how you can get controller support in every single game, although it might not be perfect. And that is the entirety of the video. Enjoy playing LEGO Star Wars as it was meant to be played with the Nintendo GameCube controller. Get that weird plastic all sweaty, and thank you for watching.